Hi, I'm Christy Conlon, and I am here today with Barbara Lewis. I have had the privilege of spending most of this week with Barbara as we have been in the video studio, filming two great DVDs that will be available for purchase soon. One of them is all about the basics of torch firing, and one is a more advanced DVD where we go through step by step some wonderful techniques for both metalworking and working with enamel. And before I let Barbara bolt on out of here, I think we've done our good job of exhausting her this week. I thought I would pin her down and talk to her a little bit about some burning questions that I have. So Barbara, thank you so much for this week. We've had a blast, haven't we?
It was great. It was really great. I enjoyed it.
Well, I wanted to take a little bit of time and ask you, I know that you pioneered this torch firing technique for enamel, but I also know that you haven't been doing this for a very, very long time. So can you tell me how long you have been doing this type of art and what your background is, how it is that you came to be the authority on torch firing enamel?
Oh, geez, the authority. I don't know about that. I've been doing it for a very short time. I mean, 4 years. I'm almost kind of embarrassed to say that. But I've got 20 years of experience working. I have a degree in ceramics, so I have a solid background there. And I took a workshop to teach me some of the basic techniques, but I started applying what I knew about firing gas kilns to firing a gas torch. And that's where I really felt my creativity come alive. And there's so many great things you can do with the torch, and I love the fact that, you know, the medium is, the torch is leaving its mark on the piece. You know, we're utilizing the fuel and the flame and just, you know, everything about it. So I first became familiar. I was never really interested in enameling because it just looked too perfect to me and it was too shiny. And I started seeing torch-fired work that reminded me of my own pottery. It was very organic looking and rustic, and that really appealed to me. And then I started getting interested. And it was during a period that I was rehabbing my shoulder from having rotator cuff surgery. I had 2 of those as a result of loading heavy kiln shelves. Right. So my life had gotten very small. I was making ceramic beads and then started with the torch firing. So I feel really blessed that I've had a couple of careers in my lifetime and ones that I've really loved. So I'm very happy.
Well, and I think that you're probably at a very good spot right now in your life. This has taken off, as you said, and more people are getting into it. There's an awful lot of interest. And I know that just spending the last couple of days with you, I've learned so much about all of this that you do, and I'm eager to start doing some of it. I think we might try that in a little while. But I just, you know, write down, starting with the different enamels and the colors and the styles between the opaques and the transparencies and all of these cool techniques. It's not just one technique. You can get so many different looks from your beads by using the torch firing method. I was wondering if you have a particular technique from among all those that we've discussed and worked through the last couple of days that you would say is really your very favorite.
I think I really like the controlled over firing, and I think my students really would say the same thing because it's so simple, but yet the results are so dramatic. This is one of my favorite projects from the book, and this is a perfect example of that. How you get the speckling. By over-firing it, the copper oxides bubble up through the enamel on the surface and they break at the surface. And then if you reduce the flame, you cut back on the oxygen, you can get some red flashing. I just think it's really outstanding. And it doesn't really take a lot. All you're doing is focusing the flame in one area. It's almost like it's almost like an accident, except you're doing it deliberately, you know. So I think the thing about enameling, you know, when I even look at this bracelet, you know, I see more rustic and then I see vintage, and there are parts of that in me, you know, more feminine side, the more masculine side. So I think it can be a lot of things to you, you know, depending on even how you're feeling on the day.
And what about color and enamel? Do you prefer the opaques or the transparents? And it seems to me from looking at some of your work that you really tend to lean more towards the blues and the greens and the whites, but I could be wrong.
You're absolutely right. And there's a reason for that. It's funny, when I taught my first workshop and someone had seen my work online and they said to me at the workshop, I see that you're really attracted to blues and greens. And I thought, this lady is absolutely crazy because I love orange and red and shocking pink and all of this. And I started thinking about my work and I thought, she's really right. I'm doing turquoise and blue greens. And I think one of the reasons is that Thompson has gorgeous colors in that color range. And it's really influenced my work. So I would say that you're right as far as the palette that I like to work with, but a lot of that is influenced by what's available, the beautiful blue-green colors that Thompson Enamel makes.
Well, you said when you did more ceramic work that your style leaned towards the more organic. Do you think that that ties in with some of those colors as well?
I think so. And who doesn't like turquoise? I mean, I really,
one of my favorites.
I really haven't met very many people who don't like that, at least in some of the shades. I mean, look at the plate we have here.
Good,
We've been
we picked
enjoying
that just
these
for you.
colors. Yeah, right. We've been enjoying these colors the whole week. So, yeah, I love the blue greens for sure. But there's that red.
There's that red. I know that you have said in the past that sometimes people are reluctant or a little resistant to getting into this technique because of the fact that they're working with fire and working with a torch, and that can be a little off-putting or a little bit scary at times. So how do you think we can get past that?
Well, you're going to find out when you get up to the torch. I think one of the things is that it's a very, very, very safe method. The torch is stationary, it's attached to the table. You've got control of two hands. You're not like wielding a torch and trying to control the flame and then getting distracted or whatever. It's just a very safe technique and you can grow with it. I start a lot of my workshops off with people just getting comfortable starting the torch and turning it off. Just light the torch, turn it off. And then you grow, you grow with it. And so I think it's very safe, really. And people, most of the time, can overcome, their timidness with the open flame.
And so now we are going to go ahead and have me and also Amy make our first torch-fired enamel beads.
Yay! You're going to be in the hot seat now, baby. Okay, this is great.
I can handle it.
I know you can.